Now, there's something very important that we did not talk about, and that is how fast is the website? What about website speed? I'm going to show you how to make your website fast because it is important, right? I'm not going to lie. It is incredibly important to have a fast website. It doesn't have to be the fastest website in the world, but we just need to make sure that the website is not slow, right? Let's go here. So go to gtmetrics.com, right? And what you're going to do is you're going to paste in your URL. So go to your website. Fucking hell. So I'm going to paste in my URL over here, and I'm going to go to test your site. And let's see what happens. So now what's happening is it's going to test the speed of our website, and it's going to show us a whole bunch of stats. So this way we know for sure, and we don't have to guess like what the hell is going on. We can see for real how Google views our website, or at least get an idea, right? Okay, so as you can see, there are a lot of yellow and there are a lot of orange numbers, which obviously means we have some work to do. It's not that bad. This is fine, right? This is not that bad. It's a C. The performance is 79. Not bad. The structure is 65. That's a little bit bad. This is not that bad. This is looking great. This is great. This is great. You're not even worry about that. So if I scroll down over here, it's telling me the biggest problems, right? The server response time. It took 0.7 seconds to do this. I'm not going to explain all of this to you because this is technical shit, right? And you don't need to know this. So let me just give you a quick explanation, right? So reduce initial server time. So this just means that your website is slow, right? Your website is slow because of your server, because of your hosting plan, or whatever. If you are using the hosting plan that I recommended, which you can find by going to the resource files that I've given you, number one, how to sell websites for $5,000. You open this PDF, you will look for the most affordable, fast website host. You will click this link, and bang, just like that, it only takes 2 or 3 seconds, and magically, here you are, right? I've done the work for you. Buy this over here. If you are really, really poor, which I highly doubt, go for this. If you are using a host like this, you see this problem over here, you won't have this problem. This is all about hosting. This is why choosing a host is so important. As you can see, right, we've done a test, and as you can see, the biggest problem on our website is the hosting. The server is too slow. That's why I told you, go to your resource files, go to number one, and open the most affordable fast website host. This is going to fix your problems. Get it right from day one, right? You are going to get a discount. That's why I have given you the link in your PDF. You're going to get a discount, a 63% discount, right? So go with that. Avoid enormous network loads. So this is just telling us that our pictures are too big. You can see JPEG. It's telling us how big our pictures are. So what this means is we need to make our images smaller, properly sized images. So over here, this is the same thing. This means our images are too big physically, and if you crop them, then we'll save a lot of space, right? Let's go to efficiently encode images. So what this means is the images are not optimized. It's not compressed. Maybe the file format is too big, like PNG instead of using WebP or JPEG, stuff like that. Eliminate render blocking resources. So this is all about coding, right? There's certain code that is taking long to load. Over here, you can see the fonts are taking long to load. So that's a quick overview of what's over here. This is going to tell you how to fix the most important issues on your website. By fixing these issues, you will make the score boost all the way up to the 90s, right? And if you go over here, you have other options. You can go to performance. So over here, you can see you have more information. So what you can do is you can go and you can click on all of the stuff to learn more. But for now, I'm not going to go over everything. I've already told you just what you need to know, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to fix this for you. I'm going to show you how to fix this for free. So let me take a screenshot of this result, right? So let's go and fix this website. What you're going to do is the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go to Elementor. You're going to go to Tools. When your tools have loaded, what you want to do is you want to click on Regenerate Files and Data, right? Where it says CSS and Data. So regenerate that. Click Save Changes. Go to Elementor Settings. Go to Advanced. Make sure your CSS print method is on External. Go to Save Changes. Go to Experiments. So this is what you can do to really boost up the speed of your website for Elementor, right? So go over here where it says improve CSS loading, make that active. Inline fonts, make that active. Flexbox, make that inactive. As of October 2022, make this inactive, right? Because Elementor has not released this yet. When Elementor releases this, then don't worry about this, right? But for now, I'm going to make this inactive. Page transitions, I'm going to make this inactive because this is all about style. Stable features, optimized DOM outputs, make this active. Improved asset loading, make this active. Accessibility improvements, make that active. Additional breakpoints, make that active. Import or export a template kit. We do not use a kit. We did use templates, but we do not use a kit. I will explain this in another video. For now, let's just turn this off, right? Because we did not use a kit. This just hides some more widgets from your WordPress Elementor editor. I'm going to make this active because I never use any WordPress widgets. I use Elementor widgets. So let's make this active, right? Everything that I showed you was Elementor. We didn't use WordPress widgets. So make this active. And everything else is fine. So go to save changes. Now let's go to plugins, right? Go to plugins. We're going to install a free plugin. Go to add new. And what I'm looking for is called Auto Optimize. Don't go over here. This is something else. You want to go to this one over here where it says by Frank whatever this guy's name is, right? You'll know it's the right one when you see it has over 1 million installations, right? You can see a lot of people are using it. So click on install. Click on activate. And now that's activated. So in your plugins over here where it says auto optimize, go to settings. And now this is going to help us make our website much faster. So let's go optimize JavaScript code. Yes. By the way, before I continue, I want you to remember something, right? Remember what I'm saying? Before you do any of this, before you do any of the speed optimization stuff, make sure you back up your website. I already showed you how to do that. Make sure you back it up because this could break your website. Very often this could break your website, right? So let's continue. Optimize JavaScript code. Click on that. Click on that. That's all we're doing over here. Now over here where it says exclude scripts from auto optimized, what I want to do is I want to remove this min over here. Let's remove min. So it's jQuery.js, right? Let's go over here, optimize CSS code. Let's click on the second one as well and the third one and go down to inline all CSS. Click on that. And over here, what I want you to do is I want you to remove this over here. WP content, remove everything over there, right? Just remove that. So now just leave that. Now, when you go to HTML options, do you remember when we added Calendly? Do you remember that we dragged the HTML shortcode box? We added an HTML code, right? If you build a website that does not use HTML code, no Calendly, no podcast, stuff like that, then use this. Click on optimize HTML code because this will make your website much faster, right? But in our website, we did use Calendly, so I'm not going to do this because it'll break the website. Let's leave that unchecked because we have Calendly, right? If I go to our website over here, I'm going to show this to you quickly just in case you forgot. So on our services page, we have a Calendly over here. Do you remember when we built this, we added a code to the website? That was an HTML code. So I don't want this to break, so I'm not going to tick this, right? I'm going to leave it unticked. CDN, we don't have a CDN, so we're not going to enter that. Cache info, normally I want to turn this off, but I can't. It's not giving me the option to turn it off, so there's nothing we can do over here, right? And then at the bottom over here, leave everything ticked, right? So let's go to save changes and empty the cache. And that's it, guys. So that's one part that we've done. Now, we've made the code a lot smaller, so the website loads faster. But what I want to do is I want to go back to plugins. And now what I want to do is I want to fix all of our images. So go to plugins, add new, and let's go and search for Smush. Because if you remember before, right, when I showed you this over here, you remember it says we need to properly size our images, right? So this is a very common problem. So go over here, and after you search for Smush, you're going to get this over here. So install this. It has 1 million installations. As you can see, it's called Smush, and it's created by WPMU Dev. Go to install now, and let's activate this. Now let's go to Smush, go to settings, and when you go over there, it's going to ask you to set it up, right? So go to begin setup, automatically optimize new upload. So what this means is, whenever you bring a new image to your website, it will automatically optimize the image for you, make it smaller, compress it, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to leave it on, right? Go to next. This is important because this is going to compress your images, right? So leave this on, go to next. This is going to strip the metadata of your image. It doesn't hurt SEO, as you can see over here. So let's just go with this, right? I'm going to explain this later, right? Let's go next. Usage data. Allow usage data. Let's go with yes. What this is asking us is, it's asking if they can collect data from our website to make the plugin better. So let's do that. Let's click on. Well, it's your choice, right? I'm going to go on. Finish, set up the wizard. So now it's going to check your images, right? It's going to do a check on your website, and it's going to tell you how many images need to be optimized, how many images are optimized. As you can see, 0% of our images are optimized, right? So we haven't done any image optimization yet. We have 61 images that need to be optimized. Under the settings, it tells us what size to upload. I'm going to leave it on all. Automatic compression, I'm going to leave this on. Super Smush, leave this on. Metadata, leave this on. Let's just leave everything like this, right? By the way, let's say you want to back up your original images. What you can do is you can go over here and you can click on backup. So what this does is it'll create a backup of your images just in case you want to undo the compression. In our case, I'm going to leave this off. Let's scroll up and let's go to bulk smash now. So now what it's going to do is it's going to go through our images and it's going to make our images compressed. So it's going to make the size of our images much smaller so our website loads faster. I'm just going to wait for this to fully optimize. And remember guys, I'm showing you free solutions, right? So everything I'm showing you over here, you can do this for your clients for free. You don't have to pay extra. This is going to help you sell your service a lot more. So now it's stopped, right? You can see there's an orange line over here, it stopped. The reason that happened is because we are using the free version, and Smush only compresses 50 images at a time when it comes to the free version. So now what I'm going to do is, no stress, click on resume. And now it's going to finish the process and it's going to optimize the other 10 images. So now we will have all 61 images optimized. Done. Perfect. So now if I scroll up, you can see it says 100% of the images are optimized. And you can see we have saved 2 megabytes. So what that means is our website is 2 megabytes lighter. And this is a lot, right? Because a lot of websites, the speed you want is 300 kilobytes of the page. So the fact that we save 2 megabytes, that's really good. So let's go to Smush over here and let's click on lazy load. So make sure all of this is ticked. Over here where it says display animation, you know what? Let me explain what lazy loading is first, right? Let me load the website. So what would happen, right? When the website opened, everything loaded, right? What lazy loading does is, when someone opens the website, you see all of these images over here. These images won't load. It won't load to the pages faster. What will happen is, if someone scrolls down the page, then these images will load. As they scroll down the page, then it will start loading. So this is a trick that makes a website faster because it doesn't load the whole page. It just loads what the user is seeing. So lazy loading makes your website faster because these images won't be loaded. Only this will be loaded. But when they scroll down, then slowly but slowly each image will start to be loaded. So that's how your website becomes faster with lazy loading. So what we're going to do is over here where it says display animation, I'm going to go to none. What this does is it just makes your images have an animation where it will fade in, it'll spin or whatever. I'm going to go to none, right? Let's make it none. As a matter of fact, let's make it spinner. I think this is a much smarter idea because it lets people know that our website is loading. So I'm going to go with this second box over here. Let's click that. Let's scroll down and let's go to save changes, right? Let's save changes. So our settings has been updated. So now we have our images optimized. What I want to do now is, you see all of the text. We need to also optimize our text because when we load the website, the text is also going to be loaded, right? The text is not automatically there, like Photoshop or something like that. When it comes to a website, everything on the page, it's being loaded. If you go over here, you can see everything is being loaded. Right over here, you can see our fonts are being loaded, right? Every single thing is being loaded. And you can see it takes time. So go to plugins, and we're gonna find something and go to add new, and let's search for OMFG. Sorry, OMGF. My bad. OMGF. Oh my god, fuck. Okay, so what am I looking for? Guys, I don't remember what I'm looking for. This is what I'm looking for, right? You're looking for this over here. Look at the name, look at who created it, and look at how many installations it has. So now you know which is the right one. Click on install now, click on activate, and now let's go to the settings. So where it says local fonts, scroll down, and here it says optimize local fonts. So this is what we got to do. What we're going to do is we're going to click on save and optimize, right? And now it's going to do a test on our website, and it's going to find the fonts that we are using. So this might take a while. Just let it load. The more big your website is, the longer these things will take, right? And this also depends on your Wi-Fi speed. So now it's loaded, and now you can see it brought the fonts that we are using on our website. Barlow Condensed, Roboto. Whenever I'm using this plugin, I don't know why, but it loads Roboto when I'm not using it. So for Roboto, what we're going to do is we're going to go over here where it says unload all. So now it ticked all of the boxes. Go for Roboto Slab and click on unload all. So now the only fonts we are using is Barlow and Barlow Condensed. So here it tells us the weight and it tells us the style, right? And here it says load early and don't load. So we need to tell the plugin what fonts to load and what fonts we don't want to load. So I know for a fact I'm not using any italic fonts, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to untick all of this because I'm not using any of these things at all. I'm not using any italics. Over here, same thing, I'm going to untick all the italics. So when it comes to Barlow, what I am using is I'm using 300 and I'm using 400, right? And over here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to untick these other ones that I'm not using. Anything that you are not using, untick it. Barlow Condensed, I'm using 400, 500, 600, right? Sorry, I made a mistake. Tick this, not this. 400, 500, 600. And now untick everything else. Whatever you are not using, just untick everything else. And now we are done. That's it. Scroll down to save and optimize. Click on that. And now our fonts are sorted out. So what this is called preloading your fonts. On your web design journey, you will notice people talk about preloading your fonts. What that does is it makes your website faster. There are multiple ways to do it. This is the best way to do it for free, right? So I showed you exactly how to do everything step by step. And now, guys, the last thing we have to do to make our website fast, go to plugins, go to add new. And now we're going to search for WP Fastest Cache. So when you search for this, you're going to find WP Fastest Cache. You're going to see like this leopard over here. It has over 1 million installations, right? So that's how you know it's the right one. So in this tutorial, I'm going to use this, but I want you to know something. I suggest you use this, right? If you're building your own website, use this because this works very well. You remember the website that I told you to use, this one over here? So if you are using this, then I suggest you use Lightspeed Cache, right? It's going to be much better. The reason why I don't use this on my client's website is sometimes it gets broken. So I'm going to go with this as a safer option, right? Install now, go to activate. Now, go to your settings. Under settings, you'll see WP Fastest Cache. Just look for this, right? It should be in your panel. Just look for it, click on it. When you go over here, you're going to get a ton of shit, right? So this is very confusing. Just copy what I do. Cache system enable, preload, enable. Go and click on home page, posts, categories, pages. You can change how long you want it to be over here. I'm going to leave this as the default. Go to OK. Logged in users, yes. Mobile, yes. Very important. New post, yes. Clear the cache. Clear all cache, OK. update post, clear cache, leave it like this, go to OK, modify HTML, So because we use Calendly over here, we use an HTML code, so I'm not going to do this, right? Because it might break the website. You test it for yourself. As a matter of fact, if you are doing a test website, do this. Because you can test it and you can see if your website gets broken. If your website does get broken, your Calendly gets broken, this is the problem, right? Let's skip this for now. Go to CSS, combine CSS, gzip, browser caching, disable emojis, right? Very important. Go to submit. That is all you have to do. Don't go over here, don't go here. That's all you have to do. So now, guys, we have done what we needed to do. Our website is ready. So let's do a test, right? Let's go back over here and let's do a test. Let's retest the website to see what happens. So right now we are getting a C. Right now we're getting 79 performance, 65% structure, 2.3 seconds largest contentful paint, 24 milliseconds blocking time, 0.06 layout shift. Let's see what happens now. By the way, if you scroll down over here, let me close this. You can see it tells you how long your page takes to load, 4 seconds, right? It tells you the size, 6 megabytes, and it tells you the request, 103. Let me take a screenshot over here, just in case, right? So let's do a retest. Go over here, click on retest, and let's see what happens. Holy shit. Now you can see what a huge improvement we have. Performance, 89%. Structure, 83%. Before we were getting 79, right? This is a 10% difference. That is huge. It's almost 90. 65%. Now it's 83. That is freaking huge. Look at this. Largest contentful paint, 1.7 seconds. Before it was 2.3 seconds. Over here, 24 milliseconds. Now it's 84. So now it's a lot longer. In our previous one, we was getting 24. But this is fine because it's still green, right? This is 84 milliseconds. So what that means is it's under 1 second. So nobody's going to ever notice. Because remember, we're getting so much more good results over here, right? This is what really matters. Even this over here. Layout shift is 0.09. That's fantastic. It did increase, but that's fine. It's 0.09, right? As long as it's in the green, it's fine. You don't have to worry. Now, you're probably wondering, how do I get an A? How do I get 100%? 100%? How do I get perfect scores? The truth is, you cannot get perfect scores unless your website is empty. Because every website takes time to load. Every website has pictures, beautiful pictures. Every website has code. Every website has meetings, plugins, blah, blah, blah. By the way, as you can see, our page used to take 4 seconds. Now it's taking 2.9 seconds. That is insane, right? Over here, our page was 6 megabytes. Now it's 2 megabytes. Amazing. Over here, we're getting 48 requests compared to getting 103. So I've shown you the magic trick to speeding up your website by paying $0. Now you can impress your clients. You can show your clients that you can do this for free, and this will make them want to hire you. Very often when I'm working with clients, what they will do is after you build the website, they'll go and they'll test the website and they'll come back to you and they'll say, hey, why is the website fucked up? I paid so much of money for this website and the speed scores are slow and shit like that. So this is very important, right? Because clients will test this, right? What I want you to know is don't get obsessed with this. Building a website that says 100% over here and here, it doesn't really matter. What matters is building a website that the client wants. Email list, contact form, beautiful website. That's what the client really wants. This is not that important. What you should do is just use this as a guideline to help you improve the website and make it as best as it can be, right? Because sometimes you're going to get websites that's not this good. Example, right? Let me use the Life and Money website as an example. So if you use the Life and Money website, so as you can see, I've done a test on the Life and Money website, and you can see we're getting a performance of 76. We have a C, structure 80%. 1 second over here, that's good. That's very good. This is really bad, right? 478 milliseconds. But actually, this is half a second, so it's not that bad, right? So, as you can see, the Life and Money website, we're getting these scores, but that's fine because the website is successful. The website is getting emails. The website is making money. People are reading it. It's getting thousands of visitors every single month. The website is highly successful, right? So I'm using this as an example. So your client should not get obsessed with these scores, because sometimes the difference between a website that gets 76 and a website that gets 90 is maybe half a second. This is half a second. It's not that bad. A human being doesn't care about half a second. We can wait that time. So don't be too obsessed. Just use this as a guideline to help you make the website as best as it can be. That's why I'm showing you this. And maybe if your clients complain, because your clients will go and they'll give you this test and they'll come back with these stats and they'll talk about it because it makes them feel like they're smart, right? But you need to educate your clients and make them understand this is not the end all be all, right? There are lots of websites that make $10,000 a month and they have bad scores. Let me show you something, right? If I go to Nike.com, let me copy the domain. Let's go to the home page, right? And let's do a test on Nike. Now, remember something, this website is making millions of dollars every year. Maybe every month they're making millions of dollars, right? This is Nike that we're talking about. So let's do a test on the website and let's see what scores they get. So now the test is done. Let's check it out. Do you see what I'm talking about? Do you see what I mean? They got a fucking E. They got E. The performance is 41%. That is horrible. The structure is decent. This is decent. This is really bad. This is 3 seconds, right? So this is an example. This website is making millions of dollars a year. But look how bad the scores are. And your client gets angry at you. Show them this example. Show them that the other websites that are rich also have these scores, because your clients don't understand this. So this is why I'm explaining this to you. So that's why I'm showing this to you, and I'm taking time to explain this. So you'll understand how to make your clients more happy, right? Because clients are going to complain about this. So that's how you deal with that. And remember, these scores doesn't matter when it comes to how much you charge for your service. The Life and Money website, it doesn't have perfect scores, but whenever I build a website like this, the price is a minimum of $5,000. I will never build a website like this for less than $5,000. Never. So don't worry about the scores. The scores shouldn't affect how much you charge. What affects how much you charge is how big the website is. So don't worry too much about this. So guys, that's it. That's the end of the video. That's how you speed up your website. Remember something. So before I end the video, there's just one thing I want to explain. You see what I taught you over here, right? You see all of these plugins over here that I taught you to use that speeds up the website. This is all free plugins. So I taught you how to speed up your client's websites for free, right? But let's say you're working with a client like Life and Money, a huge website. They have a big budget, right? So what you can do is you can tell them to buy this over here, WP Rocket, right? Ask them to buy this over here, because what this will do is, this is one plugin that will do everything over here in a much faster way. If you buy this plugin over here, it will make your website much faster, right? This is the best way to make your website fast. Buy WP Rocket or buy NitroPack. NitroPack is what I use on my website and my big clients' websites. This is the best plugin for speed in the world. The reason why people don't use it is because of how expensive it is. So if you're working with a rich client, get this. If you're working with a medium client that has money, get this, right? Because this is going to really make your website as fast as it can be. And the last thing I want to just show you before we end the video, right? The last thing I want to show you is you don't have to only use GTmetrix. You can go to Pingdom Speed Test over here, Website Speed Test. You can go to Google Page Insights over here, Page Speed Insights, and you can use these as well. So you can go over here, copy your domain name, right? Go over here, paste the URL, test whatever country you are in. I'm just going to use the United Kingdom for now, and go to Start Test. And now what this will do is it will also test your website for you. Bang, so here we go. So as you can see, they've given us a A. The performance grade is 91. They're telling us the size, the request, the load time. So this is also a way to show your clients how fast your website is. And over here, they're telling you, so we need to fix this over here, but all of this is good, right? So as you can see, it gives you a bunch of information to make your website fast. So this is also a very good website to use. And if you don't want to use this, you can also use this over here, Google Page Insights. This is a very nice website, but the problem with this is this website is a pain in the ass. Sometimes you can use the best plugins in the world and you can have a fast website, but this asshole website will give you like really fucked up scores. The reason why I'm showing you this website is because what happens is your clients are going to use this website to test the speed. And as you can see, this website is a pain in the ass, right? The only good thing about this is this website gives you a much more accurate representation of how Google sees your website. So this is very important. I always use this to test my website, and then I go to desktop over here as well. So it tells you how it looks on the desktop. And as you can see, this is a pain. You can see it telling us that we have so many problems. 2 seconds is too slow. But I wanted to show you this just in case, because your clients are going to use this and they might come back to you, right? So it's very important that you know how to use all of these websites if you are going to run a successful business. And one more thing I wanted to show you, right? This is also another way to test a website. This is a really nice way. So go to your website like this, right click, and go right to the bottom to inspect. And when you go into inspect, you're going to get this menu, right? So what you can do is on the top over here, look for Lighthouse. Go to Lighthouse. If you can't find it, click this arrow over here and you'll get a menu, right? Just look for Lighthouse over here. And now what you can do is make sure it's on navigation and you can test it out on different devices, mobile and desktop. Let's go desktop, right? Make sure this is all ticked. Untick this and click on Analyze Page Load. And now what this does is in your browser, this will analyze the website, and it's also going to give you a score to show you how fast the website is, what needs to be changed, and shit like that, right? So now it's going to give us a report. And as you can see, it's telling us how fast the website is. It gave us a 48 when it comes to performance. These are okay, but as you can see, it's telling us at the bottom over here where the problems are, right? How fast it is, how long it's taking to interact, all that shit. So over here, it tells you how to speed up your website. Your images need to be encoded. You need a better website host. Your images are slowing down your website. You need to change the format and stuff like that. So every website has problems. You need to do your best to make it fast, and that's all you can do, right? Remember, no website gets 100, 100, 100, 100. No website gets that. And if a website gets that, it means your website is empty, right? The more bigger your website is, the more hard it is to get scores. So even if you have a website that has a score of 40 or 30, it can still get sales, right? So don't stress so much about this. So the reason why I showed you these 4 websites is so you can see how different the scores are. Every website gives you different scores. So you can't really tell accurately what's happening. What I suggest you do is, all of these websites that I showed you, use them as a tool to test your client's websites, and all of these websites will help you know where you need to improve, right? Just do the best that you can do. That's all you can do, right? Just do the best that you can do to make it fast, and that's that. Remember, your client is not paying you to make your website fast. Your client is paying you to build a website. It is not your responsibility to make the website fast unless you tell your client that you are going to do that. Whenever I am building a website for my client, I never guarantee any page scores. I never guarantee a fast website. I never do that because it is impossible to predict it, and that is not my job. My job is to build you a website.
Guys, listen, before I end this video, there's 9 extra tips I want to give you for fixing a slow website. Let's say you follow all of my instructions, right? And your website is still slow. Maybe your client has a really big website, lots of images, lots of text, blah, 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 right? Let's say you are struggling to fix your website speed. This is the 9 tips I'm going to give you for fixing a website that is super slow, right? Let's go. So number one is your web hosting. Your web hosting needs to be fast. Every single web hosting has different servers and they offer different quality, right? That's why some web hosting is more expensive than others. Your web hosting needs to be decent quality or high quality. If you are using a shit web host, GoDaddy.com, Bluehost.com, those are 2 examples of garbage web hosting. You cannot have web hosting like that. Trust me guys, I've started with Bluehost. I have clients that use GoDaddy, and these are the shittest web hosting I've ever used. Now, if you don't know what web hosting to use, no stress, I already found the best one for you, right? Go to your resources folder, go to number 1, how to sell websites for $5,000, and this is it, the most affordable, fast website host. Just click over here and it'll take you straight to where you need to go. No hassle, right? And remember, guys, don't get these two over here because these plans are too small for you, right? You want to get this plan over here and you want to get this plan over here. As you can see, you're going to get a really, really big discount, right? 62%. So guys, if you are not rich, this is the best web hosting that I recommend, right? I actually use this web hosting on my own website. There are better web hosting when it comes to performance. For example, WP Engine, right? This is exceptional web hosting. This is one of the best web hosting that you will ever get, right? But as you can see, it starts at $20 a month, and this is only for one website. And you are limited to 25,000 visitors, 10 gigabytes of storage. It's really, really limited and it's really, really expensive, right? As you can see, the e-commerce plans start at $50. If you want a really, really advanced website, it's going to be $600 a month. You can see that this is for people that are really, really wealthy, right? If you are running a web design business, you don't need to use this, right? You don't need to spend so much of money. Another example of really, really good web hosting is Cloudways, right? So if you go to Cloudways, this is one of the fastest web hosting you are ever going to get. But as you can see, the prices, right? You can see it starts at $12, $26 a month. Right now, they're giving me a discount, probably because it's Black Friday. But as you can see, you are really, really limited. You're only getting a 1-core processor. You're getting 2 gigs of RAM, not much bandwidth. You can't use these plans, right? If you want to run a web design business with Cloudways, you have to use the $30 a month or the $57 a month, right? And this discount is only just for this year. When you renew your plan, they're going to start charging you $96 a month. And that's a lot, right? Even though these are the best web hosting plans on the internet, it's really expensive and it's for people that have a lot of money. And I'm taking a guess that you don't have that much money and it's too much of a risk for you, right? So that's why I told you to use this over here. As you can see, you're going to get 3 gigs of RAM, unlimited NVMe storage. So there's so much of value over here for less money, right? So this is the best plan for you. I'll say it again, my website is on this plan and it's really, really fast. 0 issues. I'm actually surprised at how cheap this is. It should be more expensive. Okay, so let's move on. Number 2, caching needs to be active. Guys, I explained a bit of caching in the past. Let me just remind you quickly what caching is, right? Caching just loads your website faster. That's all it does. Instead of fetching your website pages from the server all the time, caching keeps a backup copy of your website and it loads that website page for your visitor. So since you already have website pages that are cached, website pages that are backed up, it loads a lot faster. Your website doesn't have to go to the server and load the pages all over again for every single new visitor, right? So long story short, without all the technical bullshit, caching needs to be active. Caching makes your website extremely fast, right? Some case studies have shown that caching makes websites 10 times faster. 10 times faster, right? So even if caching doesn't bring you that good results, it's still going to make your website 3 times faster, 5 times faster, right? All of my clients have caching installed on their websites and on my own website. I always recommend caching, right? Number 3, bad plugins. So when I say bad plugins, what I'm talking about is plugins that are poorly coded. Every single plugin is a piece of software, right? It's a piece of software or it's like an app that was developed by people who know how to code. And some people are not very talented at coding. Even though they know how to code, they are not very skilled at it. So what happens is a lot of plugins, it's developed by people that are not really skilled at coding or don't have the experience of coding. And what happens is the plugin becomes poorly coded. And what happens when a plugin is poorly coded, it loads slower, right? The more shitty the code, the more slow the website is going to load. That's why we have plugins like Auto Optimize that minifies the code. It makes the code more cleaner and more faster to load, right? So be very careful what plugins you install. How you know a plugin is bad? You need to just look at the reviews, Facebook groups, YouTube videos, right? Whenever you are thinking of using a plugin, go on YouTube or go on Facebook and ask other people how was their experience with that plugin. This is how I found out what plugins to use and what plugins not to use, right? Let's move on to number 4. Number 4, themes. There's over 1,000 themes, 10,000 themes. As a matter of fact, There's over 50,000 themes on the internet right now for WordPress, right? So plugins are very similar to themes. So the same way plugins are created by developers that know how to code, it's the same thing with themes. Every single theme is created by developers that know how to code, and they sell those themes to make money, right? So every single theme that you install or every single theme that you find, they all have different code. That's why you'll find some themes can do things that other themes cannot, right? Every single theme is coded differently or by different people most of the time. So again, the same way you get poorly coded plugins, you also get poorly coded themes. And this is why I placed so much emphasis on you using the Hello Elementor theme. The Hello Elementor theme is the most cleanest theme I have found in the last 2 years. It's coded extremely clean. It's super compatible with all the plugins that I've showed you how to use, which means your website won't break. And the Hello Elementor theme is super fast. It does not slow down your website, right? That's why I always recommend it. But if you in the future get really clever and you want to buy themes and you want to use your own themes and do your own thing, just giving you a warning in advance, a lot of themes are poorly coded. You need to look at the reviews and ask people that have the experience of using those themes on their own website, right? Number 5, unnecessary plugins. So what are we talking about here? We're talking about plugins that you don't need. There are plugins that help you make your WordPress dashboard look better. There are plugins that help you make your login screen look better, right? There are a lot of plugins that make your website look cool and fancy, but it doesn't make your website get more sales. And that's the problem, right? When I'm talking about unnecessary plugins, I'm talking about plugins that don't align with your client's goals. If your client wants to sell blankets, there's no reason for you to install a plugin that makes the WordPress dashboard look fancy, because no customers are going to see it. Very often amateur web designers do this. They want to show off to the client and they will install all of these plugins to make it look fancy. And guys, unnecessary plugins slow down your website by a lot. The more plugins you have, the more code you have on the website. It really brings your website down. And the scary part, the more plugins you have, the easier it is for your website to get broken. Please understand that, guys. That's the biggest thing. The most scary part is a broken website, because that really hurts your client relationship. That makes the client very angry with you. And now you have to stop your work and go and fix the website, and you're not going to get paid for it, right? Whenever I am building a website, I try to use as little plugins as possible, because I don't want the client's website to get broken. I want it to be really fast, really smooth, and I don't want any future problems in the future. Let's go to number 6. So number 6, extra scripts. Now, if you're a beginner, you are definitely confused because I didn't really take the time to explain extra scripts to you, right? Extra scripts are things like Facebook pixels, Google Analytics, Gumroad scripts. If you don't understand what I'm talking about now, in the future, when you learn about scripts, you will come across it, right? In the future, as you build websites and you become more and more clever, you will understand what scripts are. Scripts are basically extra code that you add to your website. For example, on this website, right, I'm going to go to Elementor and I'm going to go to custom code. So normally when you are adding a script to a website, if you build your website with Elementor, you can use the Elementor custom code feature, right? You can go and you can add a new custom code. And as you can see, you can name the code over here. So I'm going to name it Google Analytics. I have big fingers, so that's why I have all these spelling errors, right? So, and then you can go over here and you can add the code, right? So whatever code you're going to add it over here. And this is called a script. So whenever you are adding extra code to your website, most likely it's going to be extra scripts, right? And these things slow down your website. I'm not saying you mustn't use them. Yes, very often you are going to need to use them, right? Because these are important. Facebook pixels is important. Google Analytics is important. If you are creating a sales page for a course, most likely you're going to have to add a Gumroad script, right? So these things are very important. I'm just saying be careful. It's the same thing with plugins. Plugins are very important, but you don't want to install unnecessary plugins. Scripts are important, but you don't want to install unnecessary scripts, right? Let's go now to number 7. And number 7, use a CDN. So CDN stands for Content Delivery Network. I don't think I took the time to explain this, so this is also going to confuse you. Long story short, a CDN is very similar to caching. It's like a plugin that you can use to speed up your website. What a CDN does is, it makes your website faster internationally. For example, if you are living in India, right, and you build your website in India, if someone from England visits your website, it's going to take them a bit longer to load your website because they live in another country that's far away, right? The India server is very far away from England. So what a CDN does is, it stores your website's files in servers all over the world. Brazil, England, India, Nigeria, France, Spain, all over the world. A CDN stores your website's pages, the files, whatever, in servers all over the world, right? So what that does is, international website visitors will be able to load your website much faster, which is very important because if your website is not loading, remember, people are busy, right? No one wants to wait 5-6 seconds for your website to load. They'll close their website and they'll go to somewhere else, right? People hate slow websites, including myself. I always do this. If a website is taking too long to load, I close it, right? And I'm sure you guys do the same thing. So if you have a really, really big website that has a lot of images, a lot of text, a lot of adverts, a lot of code, you might have to invest money in a CDN, especially if your website is too slow and you don't know how to fix the speed. Most likely you don't have a CDN, right? So where can you get a CDN from? There's two CDNs that I recommend, right? The number one CDN is bunny.net. So this is what we are using on the LifeMed Money website. You can go to pricing. Here's pricing. So you can go to pricing and you can see Bunny CDN and you can see what pricing they have, right? But I do not use this on my website. What I use on my website is called NitroPack. Guys, this is the best plugin in my experience, right? In my opinion, in my experience, this is the best plugin. I absolutely love this plugin. This plugin just fixes all of my speed issues. It's the best plugin to make your website faster. The only problem is it's really expensive. The cool thing about this plugin is it doesn't just fix your images, it doesn't just make your code cleaner and all that stuff. It also comes with a CDN, as you can see. This is why NitroPack is so cool in my opinion, and this is why I use it. It's everything in one. If you want to make your website faster, NitroPack is everything in one. The only problem is when you go to pricing, you will realize that it's very expensive. As you can see, it starts at $20 a month, and this is only for one website. And in the future, when you become more successful and you have a lot of website visitors, for example, let's say a website gets 1,000 visitors a month. You can't use this, right? From my experience, trust me, you got to use this. And if your website starts getting 10,000 visitors a month, now you got to go over here, right? It's very expensive, but guys, if you have the money, this is what I recommend, right? I use it myself. And by the way, guys, let's go back to bad plugins, right? There's something I forgot to mention about bad plugins. So an example of poorly coded plugins is CrocoBlock, right? You're probably wondering why I haven't told you to buy CrocoBlock. CrocoBlock is all over YouTube. People that use Elementor love using CrocoBlock. And I myself have bought CrocoBlock. I still use them. But from my experience, I have noticed that CrocoBlock, the coding is very poor, right? And it caused a lot of problems with me and my clients because they were not happy. So that's why I stopped using CrocoBlock, right? What I would say is, if you are really desperate for something, for example, let's say you want to add a sticky column on your client's website. Your client told you, I want a sticky column. By the way, if you don't know what a sticky column is, let me remind you. Here's an example of a sticky column, right? There's one column here and one column here. This column is sticky. Watch what happens when I scroll down. Can you see what's happening? It's sticky to the top, it's sticky to the bottom. Can you see what's happening with this column? The column has become sticky. So very often, if you're building a website for a big client like LifeMed Money, they will want a sticky column. So let's say you really want a sticky column. What I would say is you can go to CrocoBlock, you can go to products and go to Jetchix, right? And as you can see, it tells you what features the plugin has. Sticky column. So let's say you are really, really desperate. Even though this is a bad plugin, I would still use it because this is a very small plugin, right? It just has 8 features. So even though this plugin is poorly coded, it still meets the client's goals and I would be forced to use it. So sometimes I use CrocoBlock, right? That's the reason why I still buy CrocoBlock. But from my experience, the coding is really poor. It slows down your website. It's difficult to use. And that's why I did not recommend it in my resource files, right? I'm not saying anything bad about CrocoBlock. I think they are a great company. They have amazing support. Whenever I had a problem with my website, they always helped me fix it. The people that created CrocoBlock, they are really nice people, great people to work with. So I do hope in the future that they improve their plugins. And who knows, guys, maybe in the future, as CrocoBlock develops their plugins more and more, maybe they'll fix all the problems and then we can start using them on our websites. And then I'll change my opinion on it, right? But right now, I don't suggest you jump to use CrocoBlock. These plugins are coded very poorly and it slows down your website. Anyways, let's go back to the list. Just 2 more things, right? Number 8, lazy loading should be active. Guys, I explained what lazy loading is before. I also showed you how to use it, right? There's a lot of ways to activate lazy loading. You can use Auto Optimizer, you can use a caching plugin, you can use NitroPack, you can even use WP Rocket, right? There's a lot of plugins. You can also use Smush. Smush is a free plugin. So I'll leave that to you, right? You can choose how you want to lazy load your website. I've already showed you multiple ways to do it. So let's say you have a website that has a lot of sections. The website page is very long. You need to use lazy loading because if your website has really long pages, long blogs, a lot of sections, right? 10, 20 sections, it's going to take a very long time for those pages to load. And again, you never want your website to be slow because people will leave your website. If your website is slow, people won't be able to use it. They're going to get fed up, right? So guys, lazy loading is going to help you a lot with long pages. If you build a website that has a lot of sections and margins, use lazy loading to improve your website speed, right? And the last thing, WebP images. So this is optional, right? So WebP images, what is that? WebP is a format or a type of image file, right? For example, you have JPEG images, you have PNG images, you have GIF or GIF images. So you also have WebP images. WebP images are images that are specifically for web. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to convert your images to WebP. And I'm going to show you an example of how much smaller your files are going to be. And I'm just going to show you how you can convert your images for free, right? So guys, you are going to go to a website that is called bulkresizePhotos.com, right? It looks like this. So here's how it works. Go to choose images. And right here, I have 10 images, right? So let me show you how big these images are. I'm going to go to view and I'm going to go to detailed, right? And let me go to sort by size. So as you can see, these images are 5 megabytes, 5 megabytes, 3 megabytes, almost 3 megabytes, right? So you can see these images are really big. And you can see these images are JPEG images, right? So let's convert these images to WebP. I'm going to highlight all of them. I'm going to go to open. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the other options, right? And I'm just going to change the image format. So let's make this WebP. And now I'm going to click on start. And now what's going to happen is it's going to convert the images for me. As you can see, all 10 images are being converted. And now it's going to generate a zip file. And now it says completed. And guys, look at this. The images before were 23 megabytes. Now it's 4 megabytes. So this is the power of WebP. You can cut your images down almost 60 to 70%. And the cool thing is the images are still high quality. Once your images are done converting, it will automatically download a file onto your computer. As you can see over here, it says bulk resize photos. So go to your downloads folder on your computer, right? And as you can see now, this is the converted files. So it's a zip file. So I need to unzip it, right? So I'm going to go to extract to bulksize.com. By the way, if you don't know how to unzip folders, just go on YouTube and search how to unzip folders. There's a bunch of free software on the internet that you can use. I'm using something called WinRAR, right? And now as you can see, I have my images. And let's see something, right? Let's go to a sort by size. And now guys, let's look at the size. Let's go to view by details. And as you can see, 5 megabytes, 5 megabytes, 4 megabytes. Let's look at the new images that we just converted, right? Let's open this folder and let's go to view details and let's go to sort by size. Guys, look at this. It used to be 5.5 megabytes. Now it's 1.1. That's 5 times smaller. Look at all of this. All of these images are under 1 megabyte. These images used to be 4 megabytes, 3 megabytes. So as you can see, it makes your images at least 4 or 5 times smaller. And here's the best part. If I click on this image, right? As you can see, the quality of the image is the same. The image is not compressed. The quality is the same. It still looks beautiful. It still looks clear. I can zoom in the image and it's still extremely clear. So that's the power of WebP, right? If you are working with a client that has a lot of images on the website, maybe they are a gym website, maybe they are selling cars, maybe you are working with a WooCommerce website, right? So they have all of these high quality images of clothes and stuff like that. Your client is probably going to struggle to get a fast website because the more images you have, the more slow your website is going to be, right? So this is the solution. If your client has a lot of images and you cannot make the website fast, convert images to WebP. I've shown you how to do it for free, right? There's just one thing I want to explain. As you can see, I've said it's optional. And the reason for that is a lot of countries or a lot of websites, sometimes they don't allow you to use WebP images, right? As of 2022, there are some websites that just don't upload WebP images and you are forced to use JPEG and PNG. But as time goes on, WebP images are going to be the future. More and more websites are going to start using WebP images, right? So as time goes on, you will eventually start using WebP on all of your websites. And guys, that's it. I've given you every single thing you need to know. I've taught you every single thing when it comes to website speed. There's nothing else that I can say. There's nothing else that I can teach you because there's nothing else to learn, guys. I've taught you every single thing. Everything that I've shown you in this video, that's all you can do to make a website fast, right? That's all you can do in your human power to make the website fast. I have taught you every single skill, every single technique, guys. You have every single thing you need to know in order to make your website fast. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and I will see you guys in the next lesson.